Conservation Commission meeting, February 28th, 2024.
We're starting.
And present are
Billy Cunningham.
Andrew Chaplin.
Jane Raymond.
Collis Adams, Select Board Representative.
Jean Walker.
Evelyn Miller.
David Neiman.
Susan Tucker.
Okay, first on the agenda is map 3, lot 62-1, St. Anselm College, 100 St. Andrews Drive, position athletic complex to be located in Bedford with access and utilities coming from Goffstown. Did we have anyone here to speak to this? We do.
Do we have a tripod up there?
Where is the heart?
Yeah, this thing.
He does.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh,
Oh,
he's got it.
wow. You bring your own stand.
Hey, you know, once a Boy Scout, always a Boy Scout. You never know if it's going to be here or if it was broken.
That's
It's
great.
hiding in the corner, but
Do you want to see the big one or the small one?
Oh,
Does it matter?
look at the big one, the small one already. It's too small.
Somebody just move that up.
Yeah, what's short?
Well, she's got it right here, so yeah, I'll look at that. Here, put
I
it up and I'll look at it.
Great.
Attached to the other ones. Where is it?
And you need to use ours.
I know, right? Well, I think I've had this one for the better part of 20 years, so it may be time for a new one, but it's a little trusty. Try that. You guys- All right. Good evening, folks. My name's Nick Golem. I'm a licensed engineer and principal with the firm TF Moran. Here this evening on behalf of St. Anselm's College in regards to their proposed athletic complex. Kind of an oddity that I'm here tonight, so I'm going to give kind of a little backstory. The project is entirely located in Bedford. Access to the site is through Goffstown, so we'll be chatting with the planning board relative to access. And our utility connections, which consist of water, electric and sewer, all right, really telecommunications, also will connect in Goffstown. So there's an area of disturbance in Goffstown of approximately 4,000 square feet. The closest, so that utility connection is here. So this is the Goffstown lot. This is the Bedford lot. This is where the proposed athletic field will go, as well as the outdoor events. Our utility connections are just over the property line, and we're essentially cutting up a little bit of pavement, connecting to those utilities, paving it back over. The oddity is that whenever there's a project that comes before Goffstown, if there are wetlands anywhere on the property, we have the opportunity to come and speak to you folks. So we're working here. The wetlands on the very far corner, there's, I don't know, a couple hundred square feet that just barely jump over the property line. So we're not doing any work in that area.
Nick, do you mind if I?
Sure, by all means.
So you're talking about 4,000 square feet of earth disturbance, not wetland?
Correct.
impact.
There are
Okay.
0 impacts
Just
in
wanted to
Goffstown.
clarify that.
Yeah, no, good point. That is really just cutting up some pavement to get at those existing utilities. There is a wetland impact that is in Bedford, but it's 100% in Bedford, and there's no transmissivity between the Goffstown Bedford wetlands. But I figured, heck, you know, it's an opportunity to come see you guys, and you got a full house today, so I'll come and say hello. And just in general, if you guys just wanted to hear a little bit about the project, also provide you the opportunity. Obviously, St. A's is a big part of Goffstown, as well as Bedford and Manchester to some extent. So, shoot, I'd be happy just to tell you a little bit about it if you're interested, or otherwise just see if you had any questions. You got a pretty good sized plan set in front of you. I guess I can give you just a little bit of an overview. You know, the existing site in and of itself, the existing conditions plan, which I believe is the second or third sheet within the set, shows the overall property and the area in which we're working. It's got its foibles. There's a fair amount of grade change across it, almost 60 feet from the west side to the east side. So we had to be very pragmatic in how we laid out the facility. Typically you see a north-south access for any sports field because of solar glare, helps protect the athletes. We had to slightly modify this by putting a rotation on it in order to avoid excessive wetland impacts that would be in Bedford. There's an existing agricultural wetland, so the years of growing crops, that layer basically forms, which creates a barrier so that stormwater can't truly seep in, and you eventually see pondings and form wetlands. So that's the area that's being impacted in Bedford. But we have a fair balance of cut fill. There'll be some retaining wall on one side, and then it matches into the property on the other with a balance of cut fill. The stormwater management system that's associated with it is essentially an under-drain system. It's a synthetic sports field, so the area of the track drains into a slotted drain, which then has the opportunity to go through a series of closed catch basins, and then has the opportunity to be pre-treated with deep sump catch basins before it's ultimately infiltrated under the fill section of the field. There is existing drainage infrastructure that's associated with the site, so we ultimately outfall to those areas. Some of those areas are being expanded to make sure that we can balance our pre- and post-development runoff, both peak rates as well as our volumes. It's an exciting program as far as the school's concerned. They currently, I think, have 35 members of their men's and women's track team. In order to continue to be competitive in the private school industry. A facility such as this is really needed in order for them to provide the level of need for their students.
This is it.
The total, as far as what's incorporated into the athletic facility, so it's a proposed synthetic turf field, the track, a long and triple jump, a shot put event, a discus and hammer throw event, a javelin event, and then there's some exterior improvements that include men's and women's locker room, press box, bleachers, and an associated support building that's non-heated. It's just for the storage of goods. The area that those exterior throwing events are, and I realize this is hard to see, but you can see where the field is and you'll be able to see that on your plans. What I did was actually highlighted those in color so that we could see, all right, here's where our javelin event is, here's the discus throw, here's the hammer throw. Because otherwise it looks a little peculiar. Hey, why are you impacting a wetland over here when you've got all this upland? It's not upland. It's being used specifically for a purpose. And we can't have our folks throwing javelins necessarily in wetlands. So the location of those throwing events is also very particular. You'll notice, all right, here's the area in which people will be congregating and watching sports. We are throwing those objects the opposite direction. Safety first. And again, it carries with it some of that north-south access that's associated with it. Again, a really exciting project for the school, and will help them continue to be competitive in their industry. We see a lot of small, liberal arts type schools can have difficulty. Right now, St. A's is doing well, and we're hoping this will continue to support their student population, as well as, in all honesty, the communities that surround it. I don't know about you guys, I know I happen onto campus every now and again with my kids or otherwise. It's just a really nice place. So, I'll give you that as an overview. If there's particular questions as to the project, I'd be happy to answer them.
David has a question.
Yeah,
David?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Main question I have is, given that this development is in Bedford and, I'm sure we're getting a good review from Bedford. My question is there any impact coming off the site, particularly water drainage from the parking that's up by the Goffstown border, and how's that being accounted for?
Sure. So I spoke a little bit to stormwater management. So it's a closed drainage system that basically is capturing stormwater runoff from the track and the field itself. It's a synthetic turf field, so that stormwater is going to percolate down through that membrane into a under-drain system that's going to capture that stormwater. It's going to have the opportunity to infiltrate it in the fill section area of the field, and then it overflows into existing stormwater management areas, some of which are being expanded. One of which is an extended wet basin, and the other was really just a traditional storage basin.
And do those overflow basins
Of course.
come into Goffstown?
No, in the Goffstown, no. So what these do, so here's one location, here's the other. This drains to this, that then drains through Bedford. And where does it ultimately go after it leaves the property line? I can't say with exact certainty, but the topographical elements of this map all show that draining to the east.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any other questions?
All right, I'm happy to share a project with you, and if there's anything you guys have as far as questions, I know Joanne has my contact information, and happy to answer those in the future.
We thank you for coming in.
No, my
There's
pleasure.
already, this one's
Yeah, I live 5
already
minutes
there.
away, so it was an easy
Says
little jump.
existing.
I realize you have one of your next items as actually pertains, I think, to another project that I have. It was a mitigation option.
It's under staff review number 2.
Yeah.
If you'd like, Nick is willing to explain that one as well.
No, you gotta stay till the end.
All right, so this is in regards to 186 Mass Road, the proposed trailer
What are we looking
dealership.
at now?
Like,
I just read it off the net. On papers.
sorry to take you guys out of order.
So it's not,
Okay, you're also here for
There's
the,
also a one for Unitil that I can
yeah,
probably
okay,
speak to
well,
as well.
just
So
read
I had a
that.
couple of, we'll bill all kinds of people.
Okay,
It'll be great.
that's map 5, lot 49, Hawks Motor Space, Noted Holding LLC site plan for amendment and change of the drainage structure on recently approved site plan for the trailer development located on Mass Road.
So my understanding is there was previously a subsurface stormwater management system that was designed for this facility. My expectation is it was likely designed so they could maximize their building footprint and the buildable area of the site. I can't say with certainty why the change was made, whether it was cost-driven or otherwise, but they've elected to modify that system so it is an above-ground infiltration basin. So we've seen a lot of these. Essentially, it's just a shallow depression in the earth where we're either using the natural soils that are there to provide treatment between the receiving layer of the stormwater basin and where that actual depth to groundwater would be. My understanding is all the supporting calculations support the appropriate separation from depth to groundwater. So instead of a system that's underground, we basically just have a shallow depression that would be above ground. And I know that I don't have a lot of information on this project, but I can at least just speak to the generalities that, going from a subsurface system that provides appropriate treatment that's in accordance with your guys' regulations as well as the
This
state's,
is the real
to an
trail.
above ground basin that's an infiltration basin. It's just two different tools from the engineer's tool belt, and in this case, I'm assuming this was maybe a more cost-effective option for the client.
I'm not sure really.
So now this issue is under staff review. Oh, so what does that mean to us at this time? Will this be coming for a more formal review later?
They are going to the planning board next week with their application. So this would be your opportunity to make any comments to the planning board.
I have a question.
Yes, Jane.
One thing that concerns me with an above-ground treatment swale is the eventual growth of invasive plants in the, and so I guess I would just ask, is there some provision in there for maintenance of the,
If I remember correctly, Goffstown has a drainage maintenance agreement that basically follows any project. So there'd be provisions in there that
Okay.
require them to maintain that. Otherwise, the town can basically step in and say, we're gonna send you a bill for cleaning up your drainage.
Okay.
The
Here's
planning
the
board will
site
take that up.
here.
Yep, so that would be an expectation. But no, that's a good point.
This, I think, is the rail trail.
Susan is saying it's supposed to be across from.
So this site has planning board approval. The only thing they're changing right now is the drainage.
Oh.
We saw this a while back.
Yes, probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah. It's right next to the new car wash, correct?
Yes.
And it,
Yeah, I was in here for that one for you guys not that long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It turned out great. I don't know if anybody's got their car washed there, but they do a fantastic
Yeah.
job.
Nice.
Yeah.
and it's- the rail trail runs in front of it.
Yep, they did a nice job tying that all in.
Kind of mention that. Anybody have, yes, David?
Yeah, so we saw this in the past. I mean, one of the things that we're always big on is making sure native species are used in the landscaping. And, I don't really see detail in here in terms of trees and bushes being native species. I can't imagine we will let that slip by. I mean, at least 4 times I found references to what grass species were being planted in the turf. But the only other thing I saw was like in this one page that mentions cultivars like Bailey dogwood and Japanese spirea.
Yep. Youngstown juniper, as well as a different type of basically the elemental flame grasses from that family.
Where are the native species, trees and bushes?
I think what I'll fall back on in this case, and that I'm not overly aware of what was previously approved, but but it was previously approved by the planning board. So I don't know that I have a better answer for you other than the planning board previously reviewed and approved that, and that they're not proposing any changes to that, just to change to the stormwater management basin.
Oh, that's
You
nice.
said that.
Sorry, I can't provide more detail than that.
There is a landscape plan, but it doesn't.
No, it's not
What
terribly
page
helpful.
are you on?
C7.
-1.
Yeah, that's up in the corner, you can see listing some cultivars, but you
Well,
know.
we could send a note to the planning board. I don't think it can hurt to ask them to
Verify them.
verify that it's gonna be native,
Planted.
planted with native species.
And I'll be sure to pass that message along to our project manager, that it would be preferred to have native species, certainly. I know there's not a whole lot of plantings that are associated with that plant.
Yeah,
Not preferred, Nick.
required. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, there aren't a whole lot, but I mean,
Yeah.
it makes such a difference, and non-native species just don't contribute to the local ecology. The local insects don't feed on them, don't benefit from them, and that has a cascading effect as you go up through the trophic levels. The insects don't reproduce, the birds don't have to,
Well, the
and
other
it's
thing
so
is,
simple, just use native species.
the native
You know,
species thrive better. They live,
That as well.
they do better here.
And it's hoping that they'll proliferate.
Right.
Once the initial plantings.
I think they tried to put some in.
Invasives.
So, yeah, I mean, we bring that up like everything we review, so I'm really surprised that this went past us
I
and we
wasn't
didn't
here
make
when
that
this
comment.
That's some.
But I don't have the records from it, whether we did or not.
Yep.
Oh, was it 2022? Okay. I wasn't on.
I'll make sure that gets passed along, and I know your note will go directly to the planning board.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, do you need a motion? Do you
She'll
need,
just pass it on.
okay. All right.
We don't need a motion on that.
No,
We're just
that's
gonna
fine, I
think
can
so.
include it in the comments.
Just the comments from us, yeah. Okay, any other comments you want to pass on, or? Okay,
I would just like to say that if that change was made, that certainly wouldn't impose any kind of hardship on the development of the project to say use a native species instead of a cultivar. Might even be cheaper.
so,
That is Rodney
Yeah,
State
but-
Development. We reviewed several months ago that where they're gonna build the townhomes there in that spot next to the gas station, I think.
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
that plot's the same. Does that change anything as far as our recommendations go for the drainage there? I don't know if it does. I was just curious if it would.
so
I
the
don't
development's
believe so.
supposed to go in
No, because this
next
is,
to this.
this
thing.
is,
Hmm.
what the heck? I had this figured out before. It's between Henry Bridge Road and Greer Road, so it's just, this is really what you see when you look up there is the
Right.
power lines.
Yep.
Right,
Right across
and one of the
it's
things
all
that
been
grows up there is that mountain laurel, grows
Uh-huh.
really nicely on the power lines.
On the steep.
And it's
on-
pretty on the steep part.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That
But
would
they
be-
aren't, they aren't going up this
No,
high.
no, but that would
Okay.
probably be the same type of soil, so good chance.
I actually think the soil changes if you look.
Probably turns to sand
Yeah,
or rocks.
well, it's either rocks or sand, right, Jean?
Right.
You get one or the other.
One or the
Rocks
other.
or sand.
Yeah. I think up above it was it was the
Yeah.
I can't remember the names
Okay.
of the soils at the moment I looked at.
Are we all set now?
So, and I've got one more on here I can speak to, if
Oh,
you guys
well,
will
that's-
indulge me.
Which
Under-
number is that?
Under your correspondence, item number 1, copy of email from TF Moran regarding compensatory mitigation opportunities within the Merrimack River watershed service
Right.
area.
Okay,
So this was in regards to Unitil's Kingston PV facility. So this is a essentially 5 megawatt photovoltaic solar array that's being sited off of Mill Road in Kingston. Due to the unavoidable wetland impacts, there was an opportunity for a mitigation project. Due to the timing of the project, among other things, they ultimately were allowed to go in lieu fee, so that mitigation opportunity is no longer available. And that is the update on that one.
Yeah, I-
David,
I
you have any
spent-
questions on
I-
that?
Well, I spent time on this, I spoke with your
Yep.
company. Did I speak with you,
Yep.
or, okay. And with the DES and with the Forest Society. And it is, you know, the whole concept of shovel ready and being able to move quickly, this is where it became an issue. I mean, as it first appeared, you know, for the shovel project that we're working on, you know, we got a L-chip award, we got a Moose Blade award, and normally when those are awarded in the fall, we'd have a closing in the spring or summer, and it might have all worked out. But we're also applying for federal money from the USDA NRCS service. That's a longer process. And pretty sure we're gonna get that money, and it's, you know, the decision has been made on the state side, but then the decision is sent to the federal government in DC, and they have to review everything and make a decision. And that actually pushes our closing into 2025. So we're no longer the shovel-ready project, the timing doesn't work out. So that's the reason for it, just,
I was gonna say, the box you have to fit into right now for a mitigation project to check all the boxes is fairly difficult. And relative to that project, they actually started construction last week, because that was a project that the PUC had determined was in the public's best interest and really needed to get underway. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities down the line though, and Merrimack River watershed is pretty big, so we'll see if there's another opportunity that maybe better fits that timing.
so did they find another project, or is it
Nope,
just
it ended up
being into
being-
the DES?
Yep, and it ended up
ARM
going into the
fund?
ARM fund
Okay.
directly. So that money will be available to the town or others to try and pursue their projects.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything else TF Moran related on your agenda tonight. We'll take another look, but I think
Okay,
that's it.
thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's,
Thanks, Nick.
My pleasure. You should send that back to Jeanette. That's yours.
let's go down to map 10, lot 22, two-lot subdivision on 75 Tenny Road, Bigelow with a shared driveway for the two lots.
Those people that were here that left.
Well, I don't know.
They were here from St. Anne's College. He's representing
Here you go.
the butters.
Oh,
We have no one here to present this.
No, this is another staff review.
it's another one.
Is this ready to go?
We do have a copy of the plans.
Yeah.
This is going to the planning board next week.
Is that this one? This one with
Yes.
the- with the hokey lot?
Yeah. This is owned by, good night, Nick. This is owned by Jane Bigelow. She owns 90 acres of land on Tenny Road, and she would like to carve out an additional lot of 15 acres, which is kind of odd. It's in like the middle of her land. And I think the purpose of that is because down here, there's a cul-de-sac at the end of Tenny, and she's trying to get some frontage off of that cul-de-sac. So she already has an existing driveway, and she will be adding an easement for these people here to access their site through that easement off of the existing drive.
Ooh, wait
So
a second.
how
Looks
mu-
like a nightmare.
How much frontage is there currently, and is there enough frontage for both lots to have meet the frontage requirement?
I don't think so, because this is zoned, I'm almost sure this is zoned
It
agricultural.
is.
I think it's
It
a
says-
bag.
And you need 200 feet for agricultural.
And,
She's
yeah.
trying to make this into
And it-
two lots here too.
Says Tenny Road, 50 feet wide, but that's just the width of the
Yeah.
road.
The
But
next
what's,
sheet,
what's that actual frontage there?
I-
I mean, I was looking at thinking, gosh, this looks like it barely would meet it for the existing lot. How's it?
So is she making two lots here?
yeah,
With one here and one here?
no, the long one is
This is
one,
one whole one.
and then her land
And then all
surrounds
this is
it.
another,
It's carving that long, narrow one
Right out of the
middle.
into
That's her
taking
piece.
it out of the existing lot.
let's see.
Because they, I think they want
It's
to add
right-
a house on the top of the hill up there.
So they're proposing a shared driveway.
Yes, they are.
Is there a, I know, does the planning board have any rulings on shared driveways?
They don't favor shared driveways, but they are allowed up to 3 houses sharing one driveway currently in the regulations. The planning board does not like them, but they are there in the regs.
But we've owned 2 pieces of property on 2 different lakes that had shared driveway. I can tell you, they're really contentious
Yes.
and they're horrible. I would not, I mean, I know that's not our issue,
But
but
this looks like a really strange lot.
Thank you. I called it hokey, but right, straight. I have a question, or
Yeah, Jane.
I guess a comment.
wow.
And it isn't about this, I mean, this makes me scratch my head looking at it, but we have, if this is all done, we're turning 93-acre lot into a 78.5-acre lot. But then what? 5 years from now?
Right, if somebody.
Then what? Are they gonna, I mean,
So you're saying there's only one way now to get to that lot?
And-
This 78 acres?
I mean, I'm not in favor necessarily of carving this up into 6 lots, but this landowner is making it very awkward. How are you
Oh,
going
look at
to
the
get
land.
to
Oh,
this
this
back
is-
corner?
I believe
So-
that these people will need a variance, and I don't know if they've gone to the zoning board yet for that variance. I would assume that they have, because typically they do that
Yes, but
before
what
planning.
if you wanted to put a house over here? You'd have to drive all
Oh,
the
here
way
it is, right here.
around.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's waivers.
That's variance for the frontage,
Yes.
yeah.
It seems like when you think about orderly development, if you just think of it that way,
This
this isn't orderly.
And the planning board always struggles with that, what to do with the remainder of the land and further subdivision of the land.
Right.
Can
Why
they
not-
just
why-
say, can we
has it
just
been
say,
properly considered?
this is one, now you have subdivided?
Extensively, so I know
Well,
all of it.
This property we've, been on in the past. Very steep slopes
I
up
was gonna say,
there to the left. Doesn't seem like that would even be a
Yeah.
developable area.
It says here, a variance was granted on November 1st, 2022 by the Goffstown Zoning Board to permit the subdivision of Lot 22 with less than the required 200 feet of frontage. So that's already been granted.
This time, yep.
Is that an existing driveway? Does that driveway
I
exist
believe
as
it
it
is.
well, there's
is?
an existing
Yeah.
house
So
there.
There's a house up
Well,
there.
right, but I'm looking at, because it's in the setback.
There's an existing house there, and as you look at the topography, you see how it kind of flattens out on the top of the hill there.
Right.
And when you go beyond that house, you get to the top of the hill, it's actually nice and open, very scenic view. Because I've been there, I've walked this one
That one.
a few times in the past.
Well, I guess I just
Turn a
think,
page.
you know, I mean, I think those issues are really more with the planning board, but it would seem to me that
And then this is wetland up there.
They have a
Up here,
huge,
yeah. Well, this is all
so
steep.
this is all wetland here, and this is like
They
a
have to build.
really steep. coming
Is the
down.
requirement to have road frontage, is that why it's cut there?
Yeah.
So it can be a separate address in the
Yeah.
future? Okay.
It's supposed to be 200 feet each lot, so, but it's not. So
What's
they get
strange
an
is
exemption.
the road runs that way, and then there's, I think, 2 or 3 lots that make this really odd. I've been up there before. So I'm not sure what, I don't know why it wouldn't just be split and then all this land subdivided into that side.
I
But
agree
that's-
with you, because this piece to the left is lost, which is fine. I mean, but you've got a big wetland, you can't get to it any other
Right.
way.
Right.
Unless you have this easement to drive across.
That's what that was.
Somewhere.
There
This is all
easement
way
right there.
here.
Well, it's- there's a,
Easier to benefit.
That's a big,
so then
This is,
they could come back and
Yeah,
wanna
all the way up.
subdivide this piece off and put a house up here and add to the shared driveway.
Perhaps, yep.
yeah, they could, here's a
Well,
shared
They
driveway.
could possibly put an easement on one of these properties off of Tenny Road where the cul-de-sac is up here, I guess.
The
I'm
devil's,
not familiar with how that works. So.
the devil's in the detail, so that says 50-foot access easement. for the benefit of lot 22. Now, if it's simply an access easement, that just means you can go across it, maybe with a tractor or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean it could be a driveway, but unless you
But it
actually see the
could.
easement deed,
Yeah.
we don't know what it's saying.
You still have to get a variance for no frontage, but
Yeah, it would be zero
Yeah.
frontage, and that would be a highly questionable thing to do.
But if you wanted to log or do some sort of alteration up there on that left-hand
That's a
side,
big
you'd have
piece
to
of
go
property.
across
Oh,
there.
you're not
That's probably
gonna
why they had the 50-foot access easement, gives them the ability to
This,
go
you
into
can't
log.
have this, right?
Would be my guess, that's why they went from there.
I mean, really basic.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get to it because of the wetland.
What is this section right here?
So this house actually doesn't end up with very much usable land.
No, David
The
was
new
just
house.
saying up at the top where they're proposing a house is a lovely view. But other than that,
Yeah, it's not a huge
Oh, it's
area.
not an existing house?
There's an existing house, and it shows the existing house on the map.
Yeah.
But if you look at the new lot being created at the top there, where they have
So,
the circle, the well radius and
Yeah.
all that, that's an open field. And it has great
Oh, so
views.
these houses wouldn't be
So
that
all
far
this-
apart?
piece of, will be one lot,
Out of
one big
This is
lot.
the existing house.
This
It's the 4K
over here.
Yes.
septic.
With
It's
the
up for this,
wetland
and then
kind
there's
of
a lot of,
dividing
it's
it.
steep and everything
Yeah.
else. And this will be, that's a crazy lot.
so they'd be sharing this with the existing house.
yes.
Yeah, this house already has this
And is
driveway.
the existing, are these the people that own it now?
Yes.
Are they gonna stay there? Are they planning on building on this other lot?
They haven't said.
I believe it's a friend of hers.
But the driveway that comes up, it terminates between the existing house and the proposed. new
Right,
one. It's-
okay.
It terminates at the top of the hill.
Well,
Driveway to it. I don't know. Anybody else?
again, this is not the shared driveway, but that's one heck of a long driveway. And if you find, as we had problems with it having potholes and things that you needed to repair, and then the other guy says, oh, I've got 4 kids that are going to college, there's no way, I'll have to wait till they're all done. You know, and you're looking at, yeah, but that's an issue for planning board.
Board.
Yeah, the planning board will weigh in on that, and the fire department is whether or
Oh.
not it's too long, they need a turnaround or a
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
so there'll be a document that spells out, you know, who's responsible for what, and that the people have to sign off that they agree to it.
boy, I understand that, but
But
we
you
have to
must
go
have
to
to
court.
understand
I'm saying,
something.
Joanne, it does
Right.
not work
Comes
so
along.
lovely.
30 years from now, somebody goes, what were they thinking?
Yeah, it just,
So is it in front of us because of the wetlands that are on the land? Okay.
I think there's a lot of wetlands and a lot of steep.
Well, they show the 50-foot setback, they didn't label the 100-foot setback, but even where the 100-foot would be, it's going up a steep slope, they wouldn't be building there anyway. They're gonna want the house on the top where it's open, But it should be noted in a kind of plan that the 100-foot setback should be shown so that it's a matter of record when it comes time for development. And not just common sense.
Well, it shows a driveway, existing driveway is already in a
Yeah.
50-foot setback. Look at the lines.
Yeah.
Sure, right
So
there.
the driveway is, that, and that's not a proposed driveway, that's an existing,
That's
unless
an
you're gonna
existing.
make it wider in order to accommodate, I mean, I think we need to note
No.
that.
Yeah, they're already
And
encroaching.
they're in there. Was that approved?
That driveway probably predates.
Predates our,
the
yeah.
wetland ordinance. Because the existing house, I don't know what year it was built, but it's been there,
Been there for a while.
probably since the 70s, I would guess.
well,
So, okay, if that predates our documentation, if, now we have a 100-foot setback, so anything being built at this point has to go with our 100-foot, right?
Well, your point about whether the driveway's widened. I
Right,
think
that's
would
what
be
they're gonna
irrelevant.
go and start wanting to make it, to do the work there? Wouldn't they have to abide by the 100 then? New construction?
I would think,
in other words, move it over.
Yeah, so if they're,
Well,
Or
I
because-
think that's a question that we should ask,
Right.
is there going to be any alteration of the shared driveway? Is it gonna be widened? Is it gonna be changed in any way? And will those changes be impacting within wetland buffers?
It already is.
Because they're putting a
The
subdivision,
existing
they're
one,
putting
but we-
another subdivision.
Another
so
But we
it seems
can't do
like they
anything
have to go
about
by.
existing, it's
No,
only,
I
it's the
understand.
new one, but
The new one
And
needs,
since they're showing an easement over here to the proposed lot 22, what's the plans for that? I mean, we ought to raise the question, why has this been put in here? Over to what appears to be the most buildable portion of lot 22.
if anything's gonna happen over here.
yeah.
yeah, what type of easement specifically is it? What's the nature of it? Yeah, let's-
Is it a forestry easement or is it a potential,
Yep.
another driveway?
This is
Um, And then what about the rest over here?
Oh, that is so steep.
You certainly don't need a 50-foot wide access for timber harvesting.
No,
But can they come
That would be
off
for
any
road
place?
construction.
or for electric lines, not even that?
No. No, they want to get back to gain
I
access to
wouldn't be
this.
surprised if we've got wetlands in these areas too, because it's so
Yeah.
steep here, unless it's, I mean, that's just,
What are the plans for the future lots, the future?
I got
You
that.
got that?
Yeah, this is just skirting regulations by doing a little bit at a time sort of approach.
Oh. Did you read number
well, so are
18
they
on the
trying to
front
say that
page,
this
David?
is? Can I ask you a question? So this diagonal line that goes across
Oh, right.
the proposed map 10, yeah, right in the middle, what is that for? Why is it,
That's what David was saying.
This,
that's the easement to get across there?
Yeah,
we're
this,
talking about that easement, yeah.
So they are thinking that at some point you're gonna,
They
so,
want
but
to
to
get back
access,
there.
yeah, but what do they want to do then?
That's the question we raised.
Right. Where are you, Susan, which page?
Well, number 17 and 18, if you could read down the front of the page, number 17 and 18 on the front page.
on the front page.
The
Front
notes-
page.
The notes on the front, so the very top, read the notes.
Common driveway should be
18.
the house.
18, here. Has granted the following waivers. Oh, you see this?
Oh, not require wetland delineation on the entire site, okay.
Well, we're not wanting to do that, though.
It says they've already given the waivers.
Oh, God.
No, that's
Planning
just
board, it's
future
granted.
With the
hopefulness.
approval of this
Oh,
plan.
Yeah, they haven't gone to the board yet.
That's what they want to do.
Oh,
But I think that's one thing we want to say, we don't want to approve that.
well, certainly not where the driveway is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not-
And the 100-foot setback should be shown on the plan, so I guess they're
Right.
gonna have to do that too.
Oh, a turnaround at the house in Georgia.
Yeah,
What does this mean?
What a
Section
terrible,
6L,
terrible.
site-specific soil mass and stuff.
there's a lot of stuff on this.
Site-specific soils. Does that matter? I would think it
We
would.
do want
Well, for
this,
the
it
remainder
says
of the
not
site, I think they're
required,
talking
right?
about.
No, yeah, we want it.
We want this.
We want it, yes, the
6L.
yes, that they delineate the,
They've got it.
yeah.
6L.
But they already
We
have-
want that.
But Jordan said they already have the variance.
I don't
Including
understand
a
what
turnaround
6L
of the
is.
house and shall
6L,
require approval from the
section 6L.
Goffstown DPW.
It's the site-specific soil mapping standards, that's referring to that, section 6 of those standards.
They
Oh,
get any
okay.
other things
Not
waived?
required
That's what I think
site-specific
everybody's looking at
soils.
now.
And so you're
See
saying you
what
don't
they got
need
waived,
to
right?
delineate the wetlands on the entire parcel. We see that all the time on the big parcels.
But they're in the wetland
Yep.
setback here, and then this is part of this new lot. I think we need to see the wetland setbacks there.
Oh, absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they
And I
should
don't
have
think there is any
a
wetland on
waiver
the
for
rest
that
of
at
it.
all.
So
So-
we can say we don't agree with waiving mapping the wetlands on the remainder of the site.
'Cause this is, this is the 50-foot setback, right? Right,
So we wanted to have the 100-foot.
Right. And then this over here says approximate, because they hadn't mapped this side.
Yeah, I was looking at that because there's some areas that look like.
Okay, but 100 feet from the 50 is gonna put them almost in the middle of their easement.
Oh, dear. Terrible. Yeah, so they've marked this wetland, but they haven't gone through and marked all the wetlands. Because there has to be other wetlands in here because of the such
Yeah.
steep slopes. I mean, it's, yeah.
We want
And
that.
they've requested a waiver of that.
We want,
No,
But
no.
if you
Well, then we
look,
can say we don't agree with that.
Well, I agree, that's what I'm saying. I think that if they're gonna plan on chopping this up into several lots, that we want the wetland delineation.
Yep, that's fine.
For all of it, absolutely. We wanna know what
so
they're
that's the thing.
thinking
they're
about.
waiting
Yeah, we don't agree with waiving
No.
Right,
requirements
right.
for
It's on the
flood
frontier.
delineation on the entire site.
and
Right.
if you look at the driveway as it approaches Tenny Road, there are a number of places where there's wetland right up against the driveway. It's small pieces, but you don't see where it's going. It's not.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
I think
map.
it's,
See the little bushes?
yeah,
there?
look at that,
Right.
right
That-
there.
Isn't
Oh.
that's the
There's
wetland
one right in
line,
here
Yeah.
too.
but it doesn't,
Look right here.
doesn't show us
Oh, there's one right in the wetland. Yeah.
where those,
Right in the
are
driveway.
those going further out?
This is right through the middle.
Well, the driveway's
Oh.
right
The
through
driveway goes
I
right
I
through.
think
lost
if
track
they're
of where we are,
proposing, they need to mark all the wetlands, you know. I mean, this is,
Way too much.
yeah.
See, these wetlands up here, there's a pipe here, because they crossed a wetland. But it doesn't show where that water goes, although you can kind of guess what.
So they didn't continue it.
No,
They ended, because this could go over into
this is
here.
all.
Well, that's what I'm
This
saying.
could easily go into
Yeah,
here.
Well,
I think they've got a lot of, yeah, wetlands. that
Back
they're
to what Sue mentioned before, I mean, the existing driveway's there, it exists.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have really nothing to say about that unless it's being widened or modified, because there's wetland crossings already, there's culverts
Right.
already.
Right.
Would they be adequate? What would happen if it was widened? I mean, there's a whole slew of questions that would be created if the driveway is to be modified. Or maybe it's just gonna be left as is and shared, that's the question.
Yeah.
Well,
My
except,
concern is they've shown a 50-foot easement off to that other
That's
parcel.
it.
It's not clear why.
yes,
What's out there? We don't know what there's out there for resources.
that's what bothers me also, is that they have just marked the few wetlands that,
Yeah.
yeah, that are affecting what they're
But you-
proposing, but there's, we don't know what they're gonna propose for this
See,
other
this could
area.
easily go
They
into
really
here.
need to map all of this for us to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And we've encountered this many
Oh.
times before,
Right.
a simple subdivision of, maybe not.
Divided in half and then all of a
Right,
sudden.
and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
5-10 years later,
Right,
they wanna do something, and because of the decision that was made prior,
Yeah.
right.
it's causing
Too late.
a lot of,
Oh, yeah.
'Cause see, this is
And
what
once
you
it's
do.
been approved as a subdivision, then we then are forced legally to give them some way to get to that piece of property. So we need, that's why I think we need to know
Because this
what's
is
going
right
on in the
down
whole
here,
thing
too.
here.
You know, proposed lot 22 is 78 acres. It's a big lot with a
Yeah.
proposed 50-foot easement to it. Why? I mean, they have something in mind. They're not going to sit on 78 acres.
except this and this together are 78 acres.
No.
Yeah, cause it goes all the
Yeah,
way
it's
around.
the
Oh,
same lot.
oh, yeah, right.
But
It goes all
still-
the way
Right,
around.
right, right. So-
But still, that's a big piece
No,
of
you're
property.
right, you're right.
So this is maybe,
Oh, I think for sure they're planning something across here
They've
to
gotta
do
be.
something over here.
At least 25.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, but why would they care about an easement to get back there?
yeah.
they wouldn't.
well, it could be just for logging, but
There's already roads, a road network through, I should say a road, but there's logging trail
Logging,
network
yeah.
through there. It's been logged. This is all hemlock forest and mixed with oaks. On the north side, there are a ton of pools and a ton of wetlands all through
See.
there, so.
Yeah,
it should be mapped, I think.
Yep,
I'd say there's all kinds of them in here.
Yeah, and the area that's showing the easement going into, there, I know that there are also other wetlands in that.
yeah, see.
Who said they didn't have to do the
They
wetlands?
declared them.
They did.
Permission to-
Page, it's
Potential
number,
vernal
Oh, yeah.
Permission to that.
So
With
if-
the
if
approval
you
of this
remember
plan,
at a
the planning board
previous
has
owner
granted the
referred
following
to this property as
waivers.
Silver
Yeah,
Hills.
granted.
He had a photographic studio out there, and he put in hiking trails, and he publicized it online. There was a website you could go to and get a map of the hiking trails, and he invited the public in. This was previous owner who's sadly no longer with us.
What was it called? David?
Silver Hills. This one hill up here was called Silver Hill. And so I've been on the trails back here, I've walked it, I know there are other wetlands.
Well,
Let's see him.
do we have any other comments on here? Or do we want that just to go?
Yeah, I think all the
Joanne,
wetlands should be
what
shown.
have we put for comments? Could
Okay.
you just tell us back what we've said?
I'm just gonna read sentences, they may need to be eliminated. The 100-foot wetland setback should be shown. Will there be any changes to the existing driveway? What is the purpose of the 50-foot easement for benefit of lot 22? And then I have the latest discussion about waiver from wetland delineation. The wetland delineation should be done. We don't agree with waiving. Existing driveway is already there. Is driveway being widened or modified? They marked a few wetlands, but not all.
We want all of them.
I would say wetland
It's-
delineation and vernal pool survey.
Yeah, yep,
Was that what we're talking about, too, is that in 18? He's in here.
we don't agree with that.
We don't agree with 18.
And then I would say we don't agree with that, and then we suggest, or we would recommend
Not required.
wetland
18B.
and vernal pool
18B,
delineation.
18, yes.
Okay.
And we don't,
That's what they're asking for.
But we're saying we don't agree
We don't
with
agree.
it. I think
With
that,
granting that.
yeah. I
This is the planning board has approved it, though,
As the other
right?
10
The
hill.
planning
Well,
board
we're-
has granted.
It doesn't matter, we're just gonna say that's what our opinion is, and then
Oh,
they
yeah,
can,
yeah.
Come back twice.
I can't believe it.
And in case everybody didn't catch it, because it's a little odd when you're looking at this whole plot and the line down here. This other piece over here is an extension of that.
Right,
It's an
It goes
extension,
there as well.
this piece here.
It goes off the plan in the background.
Yeah, it's matched below it.
oh, this
Over there.
Oh, this
goes over here.
match lines.
Oh, here.
Yep, yep,
Match.
yep, yep.
Match.
Oh, and they have another proposed, is that the different lot?
No,
it's all
it just,
part of
Oh, it's
it's
the
just
same,
It's the
okay.
It's all
match
part of the
line.
78 acres.
Yeah, you cut that off and you bring it down here.
Well,
Cutting out golf course.
This is really more
Okay.
strange.
okay, that's what I agree with. Do we need a vote on that?
I don't think so. Do
I
we
don't
need to
think
vote
so.
on this, or is just a
No,
proclamation?
do you normally vote on your comments?
No,
No, okay, then you don't need to.
just double checking.
Okay.
They'll be
Terrible.
included in the staff report.
It'd be a great, obviously you find it very nice for hiking and stuff, that's,
But it's not,
okay.
okay,
All
we
right.
have a shoreline, let's see, which one is that one? The Cove. Recommendations required for this, no, the shore, copy of the permit, that's Moose Club, with the shoreline.
This Moose Club, I think
Oh.
isn't it Moose Club to replace the,
Yeah,
Wall.
number 4, the shoreline permit application for Moose Club Park Road, map 18, lot 54, to replace a fallen wood retaining wall on Damascus Lake. Any
So do we have,
comments on that one?
okay, right there, okay.
They had pictures of where the wall has Berlin and into the lake. It's there
This
now.
piece,
It's this,
I know, I
this is
can't
Oklahoma
find
State,
it.
right? This is the state's shoreline.
That was-
Okay.
and
Did
it,
you find it?
yeah, it's this one here.
Oh, here we go.
Here.
I know, I thought I had
Yeah,
it.
this is
It looks like this in the front.
Surrounded by National Park.
That's Cove Street, that's the next one on the agenda.
Oh, this is the one we're talking about right now, the
Okay.
Cove Street.
Yeah, I
No, the
bet
one
it's
you're
over
talking about right now is,
Here, I've got it.
Oh, there was,
but the next,
okay.
you
Any
just jumped out
comments,
of order, but you can go back to that after you're finished.
Okay,
any comments on retaining wall, on being replaced, the wooden?
Yeah, usually we let them do,
I was gonna say, usually we look,
let them
if it's gonna be
replace.
better for the lake,
Well, it looks like they've got the tarps all over the knotweed, so they're working on that too.
looks like they're trying to hold the sand and dirt back.
It says
Killing knotweed.
that tarps are for
Only a knotweed.
covering the
Knotweed.
knotweed.
Ja-
So there's no house on this lot, looks like the road goes between this.
Must be an access from
water
across the
house,
road. See,
House is
the cottages are on the other side of the
on the
road.
other
There.
side of the road.
That's
Right.
where about the, that looks
They said the top is covering the knotweed,
Right.
so the knotweed had to be growing there before the wall fell in?
Oh, it was probably everywhere. I think it is.
It is everywhere.
There it is, there it is.
Snuff it out.
Okay, this is 1854, is that the map, the lot?
Yeah,
But it isn't attached to any of these other.
no,
No, but obviously these people own that.
they must own a piece of property across from their
Street.
cottage or house on where
Okay.
the road is in front of the houses or cottages.
Right.
It must be a
Hmm.
small area, beach area or boating area. It looks like there may be a wooden, some kind of wall next to that one, but I can't tell.
Well, I think the fact that
I can't,
they're trying to get rid of the knotweed is,
There's a plus.
I can't tell if this is another stone wall or,
I think that's somebody else's property
yeah,
there.
there's definitely somebody
Yeah.
Right, 'cause
else's
there's a
property.
fence there.
But
Yeah.
do those people, looks like they already have a retaining wall next to them
Mm-hmm.
with the beach area. I see what they've done.
So do you think this is the natural height of the water, or do you think this picture was taken, April 23? So there's no drawdown in April 23, would there? I thought it would be, you think that's the normal level of the lake down there?
Looking at the water line, it
It's not
looks like
very-
it can go a little higher than that.
Right. So to do the work would be done,
Oh,
would
well,
not
it
be done
must,
in the water.
yeah, it
Would be
must
done-
be there though, because this, when you look at the next lot over, it looks like about,
You can see the water stain.
you can see
Yeah.
the grass,
Yeah.
you know,
So
they,
the next
yeah.
lot over,
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like they did the wall coming, like steps coming down from the main road and then
The mold growth.
grassy area, then the wall.
Right, right.
And these people probably wanna do the same thing.
That's what I was thinking, probably.
Well, they did say that, I think.
Yeah.
I really read this.
So
I think,
Well, the only real significant difference that I see is when they're replacing the wall, if they were just replacing the same exact footprint, same
Right.
amount of impervious, there'd be no change. And this, they're actually increasing the impervious area from 175 square feet to 289 square feet. Because when they put in the concrete wall, it says there's gonna be a little patio behind it
Yeah.
as well. But then it also gives a percentage of the lot covered by pre-construction and post-construction, and the post-construction comes out to 8%, and on the next page, it's the percentage of post-construction impervious area is less than or equal to 20%, it's 8%, is that correct? So it's checked, which then says this project does not require a stormwater management plan and does not require a plan demonstrating the each waterfront buffer grid segment at least meets the minimum required tree and sapling point score. So they're getting around the Comprehensive Shoreline Protection Act because they're under the 20%. They're only talking 114 square feet of additional impervious.
And you know, replacing that rotting retaining wall is gonna come tumbling down in the not too distant future with something more structurally sound. Is a
Yeah.
good thing.
No, that part is definitely a good thing, I think. I'm just saying the only significant difference I see is a slight increase in impervious, and it's not a huge thing.
What is our task here? Do we send a,
So we comment to the state,
To the state, yeah.
because it's an application to
Right.
shoreline permit application.
Well, I would add for one, like our previous discussions, if you look at section 1 on the front page, the project description, they're going to be stabilizing slopes with plantings and seed mix. So I
Yep.
think we include our standard comment, you know,
Native,
Plants.
Yeah.
well, they must at least know that knotweed's not
Well-
native.
at least, not weed, but, you know, who knows, they could put in burning bush or something instead. So I think we should reinforce that it should be a native,
Yep, I agree.
and,
Yep.
I don't know how you all feel about fertilizer that would just run right off,
oh yeah.
but, or, you know. And they're putting in 2 stone infiltration trenches near the road frontage. I just wanted to make sure everyone saw that.
So David, if they're increasing
Where is it?
they're saying post-construction will be 205 feet. Pre-construction, it was 105 feet, right?
Because they're putting a patio.
They're putting a
making
patio in too.
A little place to sit in their lawn chairs up at the top.
Like
Oh,
these
yeah.
people have a green place.
Yeah.
If you look at the people next door.
Oh, I see what the people did next door. I didn't know if they were going
I
to
think-
incur, you think they're gonna bring their
Yeah,
wall
I
out
think
to
they're gonna bring
here?
it out. Yeah, I do. Don't you think I think they're gonna put steps down and put a patio.
So they're gonna
Wait.
basically do what the neighbors are doing.
That's what I
But they can't bring
think.
the wall out any further than like 6 inches from the base of the old one.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I don't, the way it's written in here, it looks like they're gonna move it a lot, whereas you're saying keep the same footprint, and, right?
I don't think I thought they were keeping the same footprint.
Same
I
foot,
thought
they may have been out that far.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, do we want them to bring their wall out to the?
No, we want them to keep the same footprint they
Right.
have, not get any closer to the water than they've been.
Right.
I think that way, they're not encroaching more, except they're putting more impervious.
Jane, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I'm just, from what I read, it wasn't 100% clear to me that it says,
Well, then why don't we make it clear?
okay, well then let's, when we reply to the state, our second, because we've got a comment about natives, and then the next one is
Face of the new retaining wall can't extend any further
Right,
than the
existing.
replace the old wall with the new wall, and keep that same
the same
footprint.
location.
Keep the same footprint, right.
Well, the wall's footprint stays the same, but what they're proposing is also a small patio above the wall.
Above the wall. Yeah.
Above the wall,
They're not putting
okay,
it out.
not,
Above the
Yeah, they're
wall.
above
Right,
the wall,
okay.
so that's where the additional 114 square feet come from, is
Is
just
above
creating
the-
a place to put a lawn chair.
well, that's
so-
fine, if it's above the wall, but not towards the water. Okay,
Not any closer.
But, and it's a porous paver patio.
Yeah, on this last page, the letter, it's a description. Replace the falling wood retaining walls near the reference line with a concrete block system in approximately the same location and elevations. And construct a patio on the upland side of
Great.
the retaining wall.
thank you, David.
Could be old rule. Be similar. Okay,
So I wouldn't word it the exact same footprint, because the application's already put it in the same place. The footprint's a little different because of the patio, so I would. It's definitely the native species.
Okay.
Anything they can plant to keep the soil.
Oh,
place,
stabilizing, yeah,
yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay, any other comments on this? If you had the comments,
Yes.
okay.
And then this is the land acquisition, is that the next one?
The next one here, we have the shoreline permit application for map 21, lot 62A, 37 Cove Street.
I don't have
And
I think there's only that one copy that was in
And I think
file.
this is a request for more information from DES. So is this, they want, we don't have any other information from Cove Street?
No, that's all that was.
That's
in
just the
there.
one you gave me.
that. But it wasn't on our agenda.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda under the
correspondence.
correspondence,
Oh, okay.
but
So we
But
don't
she's
have
no
a
other
copy.
she
copies.
just handed me the,
Spruce Club.
So who's the letter to?
you wanna see this?
Well, who's the letter for? Is it for the planning
I-
department,
that's-
or? You can't just tell me? You gonna make me read it?
It may not even be for us.
No, it's to the applicant, actually.
That's to the applicant, right?
It's just a copy sent to the town.
Is there an action we need to take?
I don't think so. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a very long list of requests from the state to the applicant
It's
to
the applicant's
provide a
got-
whole bunch of information.
It's a letter requested the shoreline permit, but I think it's for
Well-
them to send more information.
12 items of information.
Okay, but they sent that, a copy, the state sent a copy of that letter to us.
Right.
Okay,
As courtesy.
so it's FYI.
Yeah. and
This,
so the
I think
state
Patty
says-
keeps it.
Yeah, that goes back.
Okay, so, before we get on to the last one, let's do the minutes from December.
Are we going through this one? This,
I'm gonna, but I
okay.
figure let's do the minutes and then go on to
All
that one.
right.
Do we have minutes? I didn't see any minutes.
Oh, I wasn't.
I don't think the minutes were included. I think it's probably because the last meeting got canceled and the minutes.
So
were
these are
mailed out.
December, yeah.
In their last packet.
So not having those in front of me, I don't remember.
I believe they were emailed.
The December meeting.
I didn't look at them, but I think they were emailed.
No.
a long time
Probably
ago.
looked at them a month ago, but I don't remember now if I approved of them or not. So I think we need to defer it to
Defer until the next,
meeting.
okay,
Nobody can remember what was in the minutes.
okay.
So can we get a new copy or resend or something, so we have something to look at for the December minutes?
Yep, I'll give her a note.
Okay,
thank you.
the last one I have on here is the recommendation requested from the select board for possible land acquisition of map 27, lot 6-1, Henry Bridge Road. That is
Old softball field.
piece of property that is where St. Ange plant, park
They
their
used to store all
trucks.
their trucks.
Can you tell us about this?
What's this all about?
Oh, but that used to be a leather tannery dump.
Okay, well, wait a second. Kyle's gonna give us background on this.
So some of the background is, we complained several times at DES because St. Ange kept encroaching further and further.
Right.
The bill kept going out further and further and further. So when it came before the select board, I said, I got two issues. One is there's a historical aspect to this that you need to investigate, because I think DES was involved. So they said that they went to DES, and DES sent a letter, said, nope, it's all taken care of, we closed the file.
Oh,
And I said, and there ought to be an environmental assessment done of
Yes.
what's in the soils down there.
Yes.
So they did that as well.
Oh,
apparently that came back clean as well.
You're kidding. I'm
So,
shocked. Sorry.
Okay,
so the plan here is the town wants to buy the St. Ange property to create a road from Henry Bridge up that steep sandy slope towards the athletic fields.
Oh,
oh my gosh.
And then there's a bigger plan, and I'm sure we'll have opportunity to comment on all those municipal plans, so they don't really need any approvals from us. To put the police station up there, the Parks and Rec building up there, and some other ancillary facilities up there, some Parks and Rec storage buildings, and those sorts of things. So what was driving this primarily was the need to relocate the police station. So let's put it up there. We'll blast the road in. We need to buy this strip from St. Ange so we can put the road up that steep sandy
Oh my God.
embankment.
It's straight up.
Up
And
and
it's,
on top.
yeah, terrible. That's.
Very steep and
And.
Well, not-
you're unconsolidated sand, that's,
And that was brought up, and they
It's
asked DPW, and they said, that was one of my concerns, is this even buildable? They said, yeah, it's buildable. I mean, there'll be some big cuts associated with it, probably some retaining walls to hold back some of the unconsolidated soils.
College, did they ask them to maybe
And
make
so-
an estimate as to what that might cost? You know, to stabilize sand and put in, sorry.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, and then, oh yeah, and by the way, where it's coming onto Henry Bridge Road is right at the bottom of that steep hill. It
Right.
comes winding down. What happens when a police cruiser decides they're gonna pull out onto Henry Bridge Road
God.
in the middle of winter and somebody's
This-
going?
that-
I mean, it just,
Because that's
Is
a
it going
terrible,
to go out? Is it gonna, do they need this road
well, yeah,
because they wanna be able to have two exits?
well, yeah, it's gonna go up and connect up through the transfer station
Yeah.
on Elm Street. So
Okay.
they'll make a connector road.
the history of
So-
that property is, like you said, it had come before us, and we might even have minutes somewhere, where we kept saying they were violating.
Oh,
We did.
Violating.
Back when
this
I
piece
was
of-
on conservation.
Okay, and it was a
Way back.
long time ago.
oh, it-
and after that as
Wait a
well.
minute.
oh,
They
yeah.
they kept dumping sand and gravel and stones
Yep.
and sliding it over, because that is, I think, the part of the floodplain, because there's a brook that comes down
There is.
there.
Oh, it
And then-
floods a lot, that's
Henry
why they put it up
I
for sale,
can't even
nobody bought it.
visualize that.
I thought there was
There was,
tannery, something to do with leather
Doesn't sound familiar to me, but.
disposal there back in the 1800s.
Well,
Yeah,
I remember that.
no, you don't remember. And I thought that's what St. Ange told us when we walked it, and you were with me, I'm pretty sure. We walked it, and they said, oh, this wasn't us, this was done before when it was and this one I don't remember, what was it? There was something else there. And I thought it was leather tannery. But if you say it was all,
Entered.
they dug into it and,
Well, I mean, they kept creeping and creeping and creeping. In fact, I even met on site with a couple of people from the St. Ange family. I said, you guys gotta cut this out, you know, come up with a plan. If you need more room for your trucks, then you need to do a site plan, get it before the town, get it approved as a site plan so it can address all of these issues. Never happened.
because they used to just park like two, at the beginning, two trucks.
Yeah, then it was 4, then 6,
And
then
then
8.
they would push those two
Yeah.
down and get 4, because they'd
Yeah.
have, and then they,
Then they started piling their septic materials, stone, pipe,
Yes.
et cetera,
And then they
all
would-
around down there.
yes,
well,
I can't believe what I'm reading here when it says the Goffstown Select Board has entered into a PNS agreement with the owners, so purchase and sale agreement with the owners to buy this vacant piece of property.
so the select board's already approved it.
That's what I meant.
Well,
for that amount of
Hasn't
money,
been approved yet, it's gonna have to go to public hearings and.
they've had, did they,
Well,
How much did it cost?
you're
the
talking
land.
like,
$134,000
That's
for that piece
nothing.
of property?
yeah,
Oh, for
Compared to what
God's
it's gonna
sake.
cost.
we're talking
That's what's appraised
$139,000.
that, that's what appraised
For,
it.
I thought it was
Oh.
about 20, but-
I don't
okay.
know- I don't know what the deal is.
Well, so there's two entrances to town on land coming off the main road. There's to the transfer station entrance, and then to the athletic complex
Yeah.
entrance. I guess someday it's an entrance if the gates ever open. But is there no way that having those two entrances already, they can't have a connections without having to build down this crazy slope. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, crazy and very unstable. I mean,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
it's just unconsolidated
It
sand,
is
it's just a
like-
cane terrace along the valley.
It's
Yeah.
it's gonna
there.
end up like
That's-
the kindergarten,
Can't
they're gonna
get a
say,
less
whoever
stable
approved this?
substrate to build
Right.
on. I can't even, and it's so steep.
Well,
It's crazy.
Ken, I'm sorry, but can the Conservation Commission,
Do anything?
well, I'm just saying, give them our comments as
That's
to.
what they're
That's what we're here
asking.
for.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely, because, and I think you have a perfect example of what you've got. If you look right across the street where the power line's on, you see all the sand right there.
Yep.
I mean, it's just,
It's exactly the same, yeah.
yeah, it's,
If it weren't for the shrubs, it would be the
But it's
Sahara.
also, the brook comes down there and it's still wetlands in the back of what they hadn't quite filled. So if you look at the end of his filling towards the sand pile, there's cattails, so you know it's wet, still wet.
Isn't this Henry Brook?
Yeah,
Okay, but
it makes that turn right
Way
there.
back when we did the subdivision up on, what is it, Aileen Drive, way up there? Up, you go up Horizon Drive,
I got-
up there.
Really steep.
This was
Hill and
80s.
flattens out, so that's probably cool.
One of the big concerns was the fact that they were impacting a waterway that went into
The river.
the river, which is part of the navigable waterway system. It was, the concern about Henry Brook was by a federal organization, I don't know, Army Corps of Engineers, I think it was Army Corps of Engineers, got involved with those subdivisions that were way up the hill there for that very reason. They were impacting Henry
The
Brook.
brook comes down and makes the turn and goes under the bridge. But I think also St. Ange was parking their smaller trucks backed into where the brook was. And they had to
They're
be,
uptight.
they had to be told to
Yep.
stop parking there.
Yep, we
Because
were
they
down-
would
we were
line
down
their
there.
little trucks
Yep.
up next to, like, 4 feet from the brook, and then put their big trucks, yeah. So there's been a lot of
And we looked
issues.
at historical aerial photos, we said, look where it used to be. I mean, it was clear on the aerial photos, but
Oh, you could sometimes go see, as, oh, it's a couple feet more.
Yep, yep.
It was like a couple
Right.
feet at a time, they kept
Oh, yeah.
encroaching.
yeah,
oh,
They did it very slyly.
yeah, they would pile up
Yeah,
material
right.
right on the top edge, and
And
then
then they
a week
would-
later, the pile's gone. Well, you know where it went.
Yeah.
Over the edge.
Well, but I guess this is all leading to a question of the responsibility of the town,
To think about.
because there's a wetland impact to get across that brook. A serious wetland impact.
They'll be beside it.
Yeah.
Oh, but they'll be back,
Oh, no, if they're going up the hill,
the bridge makes a turn right
Yeah,
there. But there is
They're
wetland in
crossing the
that.
brook.
yeah, they wouldn't have to cross it.
No, but it does show other drainage.
well, they've already crossed it, we've already crossed it here.
They'll, the brook
But isn't
turns on
this
the
a,
side.
isn't this a waterway, this blue here? It's blue.
27-6.
No, this bit
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I understand what you're pointing to.
I mean,
actually,
That-
that's,
I
actually,
think
what is this supposed to be,
I don't,
wetland plain? I mean, is it
I
a,
don't know. The, that piece of property was also up for sale by Boschman about,
so
Yep,
is this
it was.
supposed
I
to
think I
be a
told you.
floodplain area?
couldn't
It
sell
would
it.
sell.
No, wouldn't sell it. That's what I'm
probably
saying.
doesn't perk.
Yes,
Because every time I rode by it, I was
Floodplain.
saying,
You walk
Yes.
back there and
Who's
get
gonna
wet
buy
ditch.
this?
we've seen that many
Yeah,
times.
But what are these little blue?
I think that's
Yeah,
also,
we could probably
$100,000, $130,000.
this is a floodplain.
Because the water runs down the
This
side of
is
the
a
hill. it has to go
floodplain
somewhere.
here.
And we're
So-
right in it.
Yeah,
And it probably floods.
This floodplain is significant, and we have all seen this flood multiple
Could be like
times.
an old
Yeah.
It was
flood
incredibly
chamber.
flooded during the Mother's Day flood. So not
Because,
only would you have this crazy road going up the steep sand, you'd
Right.
also be going into
Right
this
into the-
floodplain and getting
Right.
damage from that and major storms going forward.
This is
I'm
really-
bewildered by this whole concept
Yeah.
of this, putting this road through there.
are you getting all this down,
too.
Joanne?
this is
We're all gonna
really
wait till-
irresponsible of the
Okay.
town.
Make a decision
I
on
hate
what
to
you
say
want
it,
to say.
it
But
is,
remember, municipalities are exempt from zoning and planning.
That
it
doesn't
is,
mean that we should do
I
something
understand,
stupid.
but that's, I'm telling you what the comeback's gonna
what
be.
is the company, oh,
They're exempt, they don't need to comply with it, it's a municipal project. You don't need to comply with zoning or planning regulations, right, Joanne?
That's what the
Collis.
But they
Someone's gonna
have
be-
to.
I'm just saying,
won't they-
Okay, but you know,
don't shoot the messenger.
all right, I
Won't they have
understand,
to
but I
put a-
think
put a
it's our
ballot issue?
duty.
It's
But they're running it
irresponsible.
through us
Yeah,
for a
that's
reason
what I'm
though,
saying.
right?
Well, it's the 4114A process
It goes
that
through
requires that
everybody.
it goes to planning
Right.
and conservation. I mean, we go to them all the time with our projects,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the same, it's the exact same process.
Well, we
In
did-
fact, even with our own project, we have to comment.
No, but
Well, what-
I think it's our responsibility, I mean, this is a responsible, we need to make a response to
They're
say,
asking
these are
us to
things that
comment.
you need to
Yep.
consider, because as conservationists and people that
Yep.
look at the land and, you know, the waterways and that, these are what we see as future problems with this project.
Straight up the hill.
That, and I think that
Well-
you've got a waterway that you need to protect. Jane,
Yeah.
all right, did you want to add to that comment? Because
Well,
she's writing
I
this down now.
still,
We can just say the land's in
The
the
select board's
floodplain.
It's in the
requesting our
floodplain.
It's in the
recommendations. We give
floodplain,
them-
it's in the.
And then, well, then I was going, no,
Okay.
that first one was the waterway to protect that. And the second one would be that it is in a floodplain area and
It does flood.
it
oh,
does flood.
absolutely
It does
floods
flood.
and that, yes. And then the steepness of the slope and the materials that are part of that slope that they're proposing to put a road in are,
Moving.
Well,
They're moving.
it's all sand.
it's a weird situation to comment on, because
Right.
the request that we're being asked to comment on is whether or not the select board purchases the property.
Right.
That's what we're being asked to comment on. I don't
Yeah.
think we are objecting to the select board purchasing the property. It's the future potential road up that sandy hill, which just is totally crazy.
But they wouldn't buy it if they weren't
And
gonna
and
put
we
the
would
road
never
in.
get a chance to review that, because once they own it, it's like, yeah, we'll do
Well-
it, we'll do whatever.
You know what, but David, actually, when you think about it though, as a voter, would I recommend buying this piece of property? This is one that we've seen repeatedly, that they have violated the wetlands, that we have gone after them repeatedly, and even though the state says they've been in there and they've done some testing in that, but this has been a real problem area. I would not recommend it as a voter to purchase the
Well,
land.
who was it that wants to build the road? Who's pushing for that? Is that DES? Is that the police department?
That's the town, yeah.
The town.
Why,
They need a new police station. They identified that, said, hey, why don't we could put something up there, there's athletic fields up there, we've already got some town development going on up there. Why don't we put the police station up there? How are we gonna get to it? Well, we'll come off Henry Bridge Road, how are we gonna do that?
Yeah, but
Buy
that's
this
a
piece of property.
Terrible road.
and the issue there is that the current one can't be expanded because of constricted by the land?
The
or what?
current, the
Police
current.
The
station.
current police?
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
Well, then what about the entrance to the playing field area? Is there any other way of expanding that road or?
I've not been up
Purchasing it.
there, so how much extra acreage do they have?
A lot.
There's quite a bit up there.
A lot of it. There should be a comment about how dangerous that Henry Bridge Road is. There's nobody, I mean, like you said,
Well, when it's
You hit
flooded,
that
it sure
curve.
is dangerous.
I mean, it just feels
And it will.
wrong to comment it without being able to look at these other
Yeah.
potential
Factors that go into that.
solutions.
Yeah.
Because I'm not inclined to say, no, don't. But it's, what we're being asked to comment on is almost irrelevant to what will come later. It's
I still
a
think.
strange request.
I think we can say that we question the use of this property due to its wetland,
Violation,
oh, no, well,
no, the-
wetland.
and then the,
existing
floodplain.
wetlands, the floodplain, and the very unstable sandy soils behind it.
Right.
There, that's
The
good.
lack of
Steep,
usability for the
steep
property.
sandy soil,
You
the
to
steep
disturb
soil.
those, it could pose a substantial risk
Oh,
to the brook
yeah.
yeah.
and the rest
So
of
the
the.
brook-
And
plus it
that
would-
could get the Army Corps of Engineers interested.
Plus, it would, would be informative
not
to see
exempt.
if there were other potential solutions, as we mentioned with those other two entrances,
Yeah.
and what the relative cost would be of those different approaches, as opposed to trying to pull some big engineering project here to try to stabilize a completely unstable
Yes.
site.
Before they purchase it, they should have an idea if they can even put a road in there. They probably figured they can,
Well,
but
and they went to DPW, and DPW
Oh,
said.
they said they
"Yep,
could do
it can
it."
be done. It's gonna require some steep cuts and probably some retaining walls to hold back the sandy soils.
we'll just,
I mean, you're
I
talking about
know.
anything's engineering possible.
Exactly.
Anything can be built.
yeah, that's
You
true.
can put a
bridge out over the Grand
Well,
Canyon.
well,
Stand up.
Analysis.
Anything can be done
Yeah,
for a
that
price.
bypass it, the
Well,
municipality.
if you go to Bedford and you go up to what are those shops that are up that?
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Is it
Lowe's.
Lowe's?
Targets, oh yeah,
Lowe's
that
and-
was very,
Up in there,
right.
and you see all the block.
Yeah,
I think was more, not so much sand as it is rock, but that's,
I think that was,
That's all ledge. They took
Well,
80
that was
they took
ledge,
80
I
feet
think.
off the top of that hill to
Yeah.
put loads.
so.
It's pretty
uh,
impressive to watch it, actually.
Actually, but what Collins is saying is, an engineer
You can build anything.
with his slide rule and his compass and.
His what?
Yes, but James,
Yes, advocates, with his computer, he can draw a picture and tell you how many
right,
feet of rock you have to take off and how much sand you have
but,
to move.
but
in
they
the
can't control the Mother's Day flood.
Right.
That's
And
right.
this really will be a
You're right
huge,
across the entrance.
right,
right,
And it'll happen, it's gonna happen
Well, they just
more
need to
and more
build a
frequently.
bridge.
well.
Well,
Look at,
when they did the road cut and that whole Maple Avenue extension thing and blasted through that rock,
that was bad.
everybody rued that decision in town. I've never talked to anybody who in the aftermath said, yeah, that was a good idea. This would be 10 times worse. At least there it's solid rock, you know? Here it's sand, it's
Yeah.
unconsolidated sand, it's, oh my God.
there's gotta be a way with all that property that they can exit
You mean up,
Up-
what they have
yeah.
They
now?
already have
Yeah.
two
up
entrances.
above.
There are already two entrances.
I know, yeah, well, I know, but somehow they gotta be able to use them.
Two entrances that won't be flooded, two entrances that are at the bottom of a big hill,
It won't
Two
cost
entrances that aren't gonna-
$128,000.
the whole hillside slumping.
For the police station, they're
Let's
probably
wind it up.
thinking about
I
the
know.
easiest way to get to Henry Ridge Road and Mass Road.
Right.
The great
Well,
thing about
yeah.
the police station now is it's centrally located, easy access to the main highway up. But
Maybe they ought to just buy the Ford garage and move the police station over.
Yeah, that wouldn't be cheap.
It would probably be the same as the cost of all of that.
I don't know about that, but
Who owns the fields at the Gardner?
the county,
The
county.
The
They
county,
will not loosen their grip on it.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
not selling.
that's because of what happened
That's because of
before.
that.
We've
Way
asked,
back.
we've asked them time and time again.
That's what happened when,
They tore down the hospital. Yeah.
And so the police department, the existing one can't be expanded because there's no room to expand. And they can't go up
Yep, that's
because
right,
the original structure wasn't designed to support an upper floor. So they'd have to put a whole new structure in it.
thinking
Well,
ahead.
we got a whole
Oh,
new
yeah, we
structure
didn't
for
have
the
the
fire
foresight for that.
station. You know, we might,
To which I say,
and it may be
tear it
cheaper.
down.
Yeah, tear it down and put a
That might be
third,
cheaper.
put up a new
Yeah.
one, right
It
there.
may be cheaper in the long run.
That's-
What they're proposing right
And
now
use
is
part of
just
the
a-
garden and they'd have all
Yeah,
the space.
and I propose that for the rec center too. Tear that thing down if you're gonna build something up there. Now we got two highly viable commercial lots, highly desirable, right on Mass Road with
Right.
public utilities. Tear them down, bulldoze it, sell them.
Or tear it down and build a new one right there at the rec center. Put a new building. Wouldn't be that hard.
Oh,
The rec
also
center's
pro-
just a tin
The rec
building.
center also provides the second best access
Waterfront.
onto Glen Lake.
Yeah.
Gonna give that up too?
Well,
It's,
And the
I
town.
think, I still think we need to give
But
them
there'll be a
our
public
opinion,
hearing, right?
and they need to
Well,
look
March
at
Yes,
11th is the
again,
next
this
one.
is-
When is
So
it?
it says,
But
there
that's
was
not
just
really
one on
even a good-
Monday,
if the
and the
police-
Yeah,
next
there's one
one's
more.
March 11th.
Even if the
They're
police
gonna
have to
take
get out of there in a
They'll take
hurry,
action
Public hearing?
immediately after.
Yeah,
It's already
for the
started.
public to go speak
Yeah, they already had one
on
a couple days
this.
ago.
Oh, did you go
Yeah,
there?
and at the end of that
That's-
public hearing, they'll take action.
they
on
won't
it.
be able to get out of there in
Yeah.
a hurry.
Oh, so you're saying this
March
is,
25th, they're going to
They'll have
vote
to watch people coming
after
down.
the March 11th meeting.
oh,
They'll have to put lights.
That's right on the back of the front
Amy just
page.
came up with, this is
The
going
public
to
hearing
a
is
public
March 11th.
hearing.
If you have opinions, you still have time.
So we really need, well, we need to have somebody or a couple of people from conservation that will stand up and say something. 'Cause
Well, I think for my own peace of mind, I'd like to go back down there and look at it again. It's been a long time since I've walked out there. And then, I wonder if we could have a quick site walk,
Better do it before,
March 11th.
yeah.
Do we have to get permission?
From St. Ange?
You do, yeah.
Probably.
Seek forgiveness.
We usually,
What was that?
No, no, what?
Don't ask permission, seek forgiveness.
Not doing that.
just go.
I would prefer to ask permission. And if someone would go with me, anybody wanna go with me? I could go Saturday morning,
Okay,
afternoon.
I can do Saturday morning. I'm leaving
Yeah.
Monday. And Susan's, you're gone on
She's
Saturday,
gone.
but I'm leaving
I'll
from
tell
the
you-
month.
I'll tell you my restrictions.
When-
Okay,
I'll tell you my restrictions after we adjourn.
So I
Is
can go
there-
Monday, but I won't be able to go to this public meeting. I'm gone for the month.
Yeah, I think
What?
I can.
public meeting.
I can go. Does anybody else wanna go to the public hearing?
I'm gone too.
Please, somebody go to the public hearing.
March
I
11th,
don't have any option.
I can go. I can go.
All right, Jane needs somebody to go with her. I'm pressing somebody.
I know.
I
For
could
the
probably
public
do that.
hearing,
I
can
just
you
don't-
do that?
I need to check my schedule, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I cannot.
On March
Andrew?
11th?
I cannot.
You cannot?
Nope.
When is March 11th?
It's a Monday.
Monday, 6:30.
6:30 in the evening. I'm not here.
Is it in this room?
No, is it?
Yeah,
Amy, are you
106.
around?
Oh, yeah, it is here. Yeah.
I didn't bring
Oh,
my
oh,
work
no, no,
phone
it's not.
with
It's
me.
empty,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I'm not.
It's not-
No, it is here.
This
Yeah, it is.
Saturday,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely
I
not.
am,
of
but
course,
I
where else
don't.
would it be?
Shield,
Well, I don't
So
know.
they're-
but I'm
they're
on too
big
many.
enough to-
Let me see. The 20,
Jane, I
Actually,
think I can be here.
March
Okay.
11th.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll send you an
Okay.
email.
I might
Joanne,
be,
would you-
I might be able to make
Not-
it.
Would you
Abs-
email me a
not
list of our
absolutely sure.
comments for this site, just so I have something?
Some talking points.
And I'll go with you Saturday morning and do a site walk.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll take us 10
I know,
minutes.
I know. So what time do you want to meet? There, that's on the site.
You
But
said-
you want to ask for permission first?
Well, I'd like Joanne to just check with them and
Okay,
say,
fine.
I can do that.
just check with them and say, we'd like to look at it Saturday.
Yeah.
And today's Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday.
We've been asked to comment by
Saturday
the
morning.
select board.
Yeah.
In order to
I'll
comment, we
see
need to
about
take a
this,
look at
it's
it.
real questionable.
All right,
Hate to-
what time do you want to meet?
I don't care, 9?
9? Okay.
Well, so do we have another meeting before we need to make the comment?
I don't think we
No,
can.
No,
I think you have to send me into the lion's den. Bill will go with me.
Well,
Got
that's you going in person, but I mean, as
No,
this
it's a potential.
commission sending.
Well, we've made our
comment back.
comments. We've got our comments.
Oh, so those will be our comments then.
Yeah,
Well,
she's,
yeah.
she's got quite a few comments.
I think she just wants to look at it to
I just
have
want
a
to,
visual.
I mean,
before
I
she
drive by
gets-
it all the time. It
I
should
know.
take me 2 minutes,
Right.
10 minutes. We could
Right.
just
I
walk around and
understand.
take a look at it.
Yeah.
What's there?
We
And-
had so many comments, I'm not sure what our comments are that we're sending now.
But I think it would be good for conservation, if we're not in favor of this, and it sounds like we're not, I think it would be good for conservation to show up.
I think show up and, in my opinion, make some comments.
I'll try to
And,
say something.
Okay, we'll see.
Culture.
Nobody
battle.
can make
You know, and they may,
Can
they
Andrew-
may
can
overrule
Andrew
the
make
whole
that?
thing.
I might be able to.
But,
We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay,
Yeah. Hope.
that's all right.
okay,
Andrew's gonna,
Billy's
and
I'll go
Bill's,
March
go-
11th,
oh, Billy's gonna go?
Yeah,
okay.
when did we get the request to comment? What date?
It's dated 2/16.
Just a few days ago. Not that long ago.
Okay.
Mine's not
So we-
stamped or anything, but he wrote
So
it
it
on.
comes up, say, we haven't had time to prepare detailed comments. We didn't get it in time for our meeting.
Right.
But we wanna make
We want to walk the site and take a look at it.
We just don't want it to go by. I mean, we
Right.
don't want it to just
You don't,
happen
we don't want
without
you to
it.
take action before. we
Because
have
they've already
to
had
approve it.
one here, they've already had one
Right,
meeting,
right, right.
and we haven't even
Yeah,
had a
they had a
chance.
meeting already on the 26th.
Yeah, they're required to hold 2 public hearings before they take any action.
No, I think, I personally think that Conservation Commission would be remiss if we didn't have some comment,
So I think,
you know. I think you're right.
yeah,
So,
this,
is there anybody that,
What's the date of our March meeting? Because their actual vote is March 25th.
Billy said he was gonna go, right? Billy, you said you were
Yes.
gonna go?
Yeah.
And
March 11th?
Andrew,
Yes.
was he,
he's gonna,
he can't go?
Maybe.
Maybe, oh, but Billy's definitely going? Okay. Then
And then-
Jane,
It's definitely not gonna be right now.
the, and where is that gonna be? It's here.
in this room,
In this room, okay. But when is our next
Easy.
conservation meeting scheduled?
4 weeks,
27th.
The 27th, so
Yeah.
that's after the
Wait.
selectmen, it's after the 25th.
way after.
2 days after.
Well, the,
After the
No.
vote.
The final vote
talking about
is the
the vote.
25th, and our meeting is the 27th.
the public hearing is the
The public
11th.
hearing is the
11th, but the
11th,
vote-
but
Oh,
The
yeah,
selectmen's
comments
vote
could still
Yeah.
come from the
25th.
Conservation Commission.
and they've already had one hearing.
Right. But they don't, I mean, when they vote, do they have the public there
The
then?
statute says you have to hold 2 public hearings before taking action. It doesn't say you have to take action immediately after the close of the second public hearing. Follow me? Say,
Yeah.
well, listen, Select Board, we'd ask you to give us some time.
This,
Do what we
Well,
want to do.
actually, the statute says you have to have that deferral from the second hearing before they can do the vote.
This-
We run into this every time we do 4114.
right.
this notice of the public hearing says the select board shall vote on the land acquisition at their next
Oh,
regularly
really?
scheduled meeting, which is March 25th,
Shall-
in accordance with RSA.
And what do you-
Yeah, the 4114A really defines tightly how many
Right,
days can
yeah.
be between the hearings and the vote.
It says they shall vote at the close.
I
If
think
we'd like
it
to have
can't be
a-
more than 10 days after the second hearing, if I recall.
If we'd like to have a conservation meeting before that, can't we just move it a week before? Or is there a statute that says we have to?
Oh,
have
no, we
it?
schedule
We can
meetings
call a
all the
meeting
time,
in time we want, as long as we give
as long as
proper
it's
notice.
noticed.
So you did read what the RSA 4114 says, requires the recommendation of the planning board and the Conservation Commission for proposed acquisition of this property.
Right.
Would you kindly coordinate their review and recommendation for the select board, please, da, da, da.
The planning board has already commented.
Well, they may have.
They have already commented?
What did they say?
They just said that they wanted to see the environmental impact study.
Well, there
And that
you go.
it should be completely clean before the town would consider.
Purchasing.
But no one said that that's already been done. They made it sound like they were searching
Being
for
done,
someone, yeah.
It's
To
gotta
do
be,
the environmental assessment,
Mhm.
yeah.
it's gonna help.
Examine the soils.
As of
Maybe
February,
they'll dig deeper
this
than
letter
DES did and get down to
says
it.
it's coordinating
It's
the
gonna be all
phase
kinds of stuff
115A
there, like
still.
diesel.
Well, beyond
as of
that,
that
though, I think
date.
just looking at the site is really important and making our comments. So what are you saying? Are
We
we
could
saying?
move a meeting back to the 20th. I personally can't be here on the 20th. We already got something else.
Well,
We could meet, or if we leave our meeting on the 27th.
You wanna move
Well,
that meeting up?
Can we
Not for
review,
me.
can we review what we have for comments, and if we're all good with the comments
Yeah.
as they are, just send them?
It's on-
so you want to review them right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
what she has for comments.
So the comments are, excuse me, number one, this is located in the floodplain area and does flood. Number two, waterway is there that you need to protect. You know, this will be cleaned up a little bit, but this is what. Number three, steepness of slope and materials that are part of the slope is all sand. Number four, Henry Bridge Road is dangerous. And then after that, you talked about questioning use of the property due to the existing wetlands, floodplains, and sandy soils behind it. If these soils are disturbed, there could be drastic consequences.
But to that, I would like to add, urge that alternative plan be considered utilizing the two existing entrances to town-owned property off of Center Street. The entrance to the transfer station and the entrance to the athletic fields. That if somehow requirement can't be made by that without having to go through this massive engineering and
Can they widen?
environmentally weird thing.
They could widen it.
That's what I was wondering, can they widen the entrance or the, I mean, I'm just, so that there would be like 3 lanes or 4
Well,
lanes?
They have all kinds of,
Entrance to what? Which entrance?
To the, what they're using now
To
to
the
get
fields?
to the fields and to the
Transfer station.
transfer station.
Without seeing the proposal of what people are considering, where these buildings would be, how it is in relation to the transfer station, the fields, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
Well, the road going into the transfer station is
See, doubt that could be
essentially
widened.
on somebody else's property
Yeah,
a
it is.
little
Oh.
bit. That little house is
Oh,
right
okay.
next door. So, and I don't think they can go either way.
The one with the to the athletic field you can probably work with.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
Oh, okay.
okay,
I think maybe when you say the floodplain, you should say there is a history of flooding in that area.
It's a major floodplain.
Major
I mean, that-
floodplain.
we
Well,
have
then
seen
say
it
a
flood
major floodplain, I
repeatedly-
mean, really
repeatedly.
impress on the fact that this is,
major.
Flooding is only increasing, not decreasing, as
Select board
warming continues.
hearing. At 6:30, right?
This doesn't have a legend that the entire lot
Okay.
is in
It-
the
yeah.
blue.
I know, it's
I know.
Which
incredible.
I'm assuming is a harder to build.
That's what we're saying.
No idea.
Okay, do we want to adjourn? And then-
And then maybe there's a,
Okay, because.
maybe there's a ferry boat service in this plan.
Well, let's make a motion to adjourn for a minute. Anybody want to make a motion?
Sure.
I don't know.
Second? All those in favor?
Wait a minute, hold on, no,
Opposed?
no, I oppose,
wait.
you didn't even follow the agenda.
I'm sorry.
This happens every time, doesn't it?
What?
All right. agenda.
Stewardship, the stewardship that nobody ever wants to talk about.
I was anxious to.
She's trying to get us out of here, David.
Jane, thank you for doing that.
Well,
Yeah, Billy too, but that's really important.
Carlos has something to say.
Oh,
Well, he can't.
oh, wait, we can't.
No, no.
Okay.
David. Okay, David, go ahead.
So it's March 2nd, I'm meeting Evelyn at 9, right?
Yes.
Okay, so previously, as part of the gathering the information that we need for proper stewardship, one of the things we discussed was getting all the easements, the documents for all the open space developments which have conservation easements on them. And previously, like back in December, November, whenever it was, we looked over this list of all the different properties. Patty and Evelyn and I don't know who all got together in the office, and all these deeds have been located. They've all been put into electronic form, and we've all received those via email. So every one of us has received a copy of every one of these easements. The next step is they need to be read. Because the details of the easement are critical. And with that in mind, I made up just a simple template which was both mailed out, and the copy of the Word doc was emailed to everybody more than a month ago. So you all have a copy of this document. And the idea here is that this is a guide to the information that needs to be gleaned as these easements are read. You need to know, the project name, the open space map, lot number, plan number, book page, location, developer, approval date, and so on. The most critical stuff that we need to know is who was the easement granted to?
Oh, town or.
Is it granted, does it say just the town of Goffstown? Does it say the Goffstown Select Board? Does it say the Conservation Commission? Or does it say the Planning Board? It can be any one of those four. Is there language in there that says who is permitted or authorized to do the stewardship? Because on some of them it'll be very specific, and some of them it'll say something like, granted to the town, the select board may appoint whoever they feel appropriate to perform the stewardship. So that's important. We have to know who is permitted and who is allowed to do this. We can't just say that, oh, we're gonna do the stewardship if the deed says otherwise. Right? Or if it says, well, select board has to appoint it, then the select board has to appoint it, or the planning board has to appoint it, whatever. Or if it says the conservation commission shall do it, that might already be in the easement, then it's already been put in our lap. So that's important to find out. It's also good to know the current owner of the open space lot, because once stewardship begins, they'll need to be contacted. And access point to the open space lot, how do you get to it, where do you get to it? That should be hopefully mentioned in the easement deeds, or if not explicitly mentioned, there should be a reference in the easement deed to the map, which the town will have on record here in Town Hall, the map of the subdivision plan. And that map will show where the open space is, and hopefully will show where the access is. Then's the usage restrictions listed in the easement, which is absolutely critical. You can't do stewardship unless you know what are the restrictions and what are the allowed uses. So we need to know that for every single one of these papers that's now been, that we've now have copies of. So the idea here is to divvy them up, have people sign up for these specific easements, use this template to record the information. You'll have a copy of the Word document that you can write it out in, type it out in, and, let's get all this back together, and then we can proceed to the next step. But first step is gather the information, so that's where we are. So who would like to do which easement?
21. I counted this as 21.
Okay.
We
got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
So it's 2 or 3 per person.
Well, I guess I'll take.
I'll take Winter Hill and Heather Hill, since I live right there.
I should have brought a pen. Let me have a pen.
I'll do Cinnamon Woods. That's my neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay.
3-ish.
Wait.
Okay, Winter Hill is
The
8.
first one, and I'll do the,
I don't like that we're jumping around. Can we just do
down
like
from that
an
to Heather
order?
Hill.
I'll do the first 3.
Yeah, can we just do that?
Oh, wait.
Well, because I figure if we're
Amy,
going to
just
Oh,
do
Cedar
the
Meadows.
stewardship
Yeah.
after,
Yeah,
Cedar
but this is
Meadows.
for
I
like
was
the research
thinking
part,
the
right?
next step.
So why don't we go
That's
around?
Cedar Meadows, right? Little Hill Lane.
Cedar Meadows and the Winter Hill open space.
Oh, so you
Okay.
think we'll end up doing
All right, Amy, I'm gonna write these down. Can you tell us what you're taking again?
She's taking Winter Hill Open Space and Cedar Meadows.
Yes.
Winter Hill.
The first and the fourth on the list.
Okay.
Winter Hill, oh, that's, okay, Amy. The first, which one?
Oh, Samuels Park, Evelyn.
Oh, remember that one?
That conjures up some nasty memories.
Oh, my God. Oh, yes.
Okay, you're telling
So
me I
which one
should
you
take that one.
taking?
I was gonna offer to do Cinnamon Woods and Parsons Landing.
I don't care.
Or Ruth's Meadow. I could do Ruth's
You know,
Meadow.
we'll probably end up doing it together.
Okay, that's,
So,
That's,
all right, what did
Okay.
Jane take?
Cinnamon Woods and Ruth's Meadow.
Oh, I'll take Jasmine. Jasmine, that's close to me.
Yep, it is.
It is, right?
I'll do Samos Park.
Samuels Park.
Samos Park.
God bless.
Sorry, Clement.
I remember that one.
God bless you.
David.
Billy.
It doesn't really matter if it's near you or not. We're
Jasmine.
right now, we're just
Jasmine.
reading.
That's just a
each
paper
other.
exercise.
What other
Just
one?
sounds interesting.
Okay.
Billy said
Samos, and what was
Samos.
the other one?
That was it.
Okay.
But I
I'll
can
have
do
Jasmine,
Cedar
and
Meadows.
what else is
No,
close to
Amy's
me?
got
Wait,
that.
wait,
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 wait, wait.
we're missing this.
Billy is gonna do Samuels Park and
Jasmine Estates is right below
Oh.
it.
No,
That's, Gene's
that's
already
Gene.
taken that.
How about Van
That's
Buren
up to
Estates,
him.
that's near the other one.
She has one, she-
Van Buren, you wanna do
Okay.
Van Buren Estates, that's on
It doesn't
Shirley
matter
Hill,
if it's
too.
near you or
Sounds
not,
good.
right now, we're just
Yeah.
reading the documents.
Yeah,
Okay,
I could do Van Buren. Is somebody else doing it? I don't know where these are.
I'll take that,
You're gonna
whichever.
take Van Buren?
Wait,
All right, Billy's taking Samos Park and Van Buren Estates,
That
correct?
sounds
Yep.
good.
Okay,
Okay, I'll do the last three. How's it makes it easy? Morgan, Cherokee, and Gorham.
oh, where are those?
I don't know. The last three, the last three.
Gorham,
Okay.
Cherokee, and Morgan?
yeah,
those
those
are
are
last
open,
three.
Cherokee's
yeah,
down
the
road
open
from me.
space
Okay, so
con.
wait,
Yeah.
Did you
that
take
is,
that already?
three.
yeah, Sherry took it, Sue
Okay.
took that.
Okay, do you want that?
Cherokee's down the
I
road.
don't-
Sue.
oh,
Or
Cherokee
I like- I can
condominiums.
take, I can do any of these.
I know.
No, that's
Just
what I-
another wing
Just
house.
the
Doesn't
sign
matter, I
itself.
just,
We're
I
just
just
filling
grab
out the
three.
forms.
Yeah, okay.
What's left? I'll take whatever.
yeah, just assign me, whatever.
Give me a bunch.
Yeah,
Give me a whole bunch.
give me three.
I'll just do unnamed and high view,
Just,
those first two.
what do we have? That's-
Where?
Unnamed and
Did
high
you take
view.
yours yet?
I will take unnamed Highview Briar Court.
Unnamed,
Okay, so,
Unnamed, I view, and Briar Court,
Yeah.
and what is your name?
Andrew.
Andrew,
And-
unnamed Andrew.
Jane, which two did you take?
I haven't done the second one yet.
Oh, you
I told
haven't done
David
the
to put me
second,
down
okay.
for something that's
Alright.
left.
I don't care.
It's
All
left.
right,
I did
I'll-
Cinnamon Woods
Okay.
and
I'll,
Roots
I'll
Meadow.
take Heather Hill,
Heather Hill.
Heather,
and did somebody take the
David.
Parsons Landing already? or
No.
not?
No.
Okay, and Parsons Landing.
Alright, and
Oh,
Ruth,
we only need two?
wanna take Ruth?
Okay.
I grabbed three. I don't wanna do three.
Yeah, you already got three. We got,
Okay, I'll
we
take
got,
What
Okay,
about the
if anybody
flags?
needs
Six
one, they can
more.
take some.
David, you got one more?
No, I need one.
Oh,
What do you have, Jean?
I don't have any
David's
yet,
got
so.
two. Did you want one more?
well, I'm doing a whole bunch of other stuff. on
Okay,
South
so
Mountain
I'll do
too, but
Flagstone. Everybody do, that's the back road.
Jane.
Flagstone?
Flagstone is Jean, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't even know what that is. It's-
then we
No, I
have,
don't either.
Okay.
What do you got? Just
Okay,
I've only
assign me
got
something.
two so
I don't
far.
care what
These
it is.
open space
All right, you
condominiums.
want a couple of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, how about SKV land?
SKU.
Who's
I
taking
remember
that?
that.
Hollis?
Hollis,
Yeah, good. What else?
And Bakand subdivision?
What?
Vashant,
Bosham.
this one.
Okay.
Bashan, okay.
Which, That one's gonna be a real pain in the ass for stewardship.
Oh,
Thank you,
good.
planning
He's
board,
great
for
for
that.
that.
And
No,
then-
it's not reading the document, isn't, but when it comes time to doing the stewardship.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's, instead of carving out a separate open space, they said, this is the open space and it's spread across all the lots there. I
Oh,
can't
wow.
believe
Backside.
how
What
that
do we
was
have
done.
left?
Okay.
I can
Evelyn,
take
what do you
it.
got?
And I haven't done anything yet. Did Hollis want any more?
No, hell no.
Okay, so I guess I've got NWGM,
Yep,
and then you've got two more, Orchard Hill,
Orchard
Highland,
Highlands
and
and
Cobble
Cobble
Creek.
You gonna do those three? Okay,
So-
yeah.
Cobble Creek still left?
Yep, Cobble
I can
Creek.
take that.
Everyone's gonna do Cobble Creek?
Is that the last one?
That's it.
No, I've got them.
Oh, you got them?
But
Who was doing
I
Briar
will
Court?
call on you for some help.
Yeah.
Okay. No, did we get Ruth's Meadow?
That's it.
No, wait, Ruth's Meadow. Who has that?
Jane has that.
Jane had it.
Jane. You have it?
Jane.
Oh, Jane. What?
Yeah, Jane was.
Roots
really-
Meadow and Cinnamon. I
Yeah,
can walk to them.
Gene,
Who
what
is
did you
Briar
get?
Court?
Andrew has Briar
Where do
Court.
I have you? Where do I have you now down?
They're all
Jane,
accounted
Jean.
for.
And Van Buren.
Well, you wrote
That's
Jane
okay.
and Jean, and now you don't know which
Jane
one you
said.
wrote.
That's me.
Yeah,
Is
it's kind of
This
sloppy
is
with
Jean.
that, is that Cinnamon?
Jasmine.
Jasmine, yeah.
So-
And what, did you have one other one?
This really shouldn't be very difficult. It's just, you know,
the flag-
they all have to be read and this
Flagstone.
information extracted.
Flagstone,
And some of the
is it?
questions may not be fully
Here,
addressed,
Jean.
depends on how well they're written. So
How do we read them? Where do we go to get the paperwork?
it's all been emailed to you.
Um,
I didn't.
It
yeah, it
was,
was in, I'll tell you what date it
it
was.
was November,
Nope.
December?
It was a
This-
series of
January
emails.
18th.
When was it?
January 18th.
Yeah,
All right,
I was
did-
gone.
Wait
There's
a
like a
second.
big old long chain of stuff.
Okay,
on your
I was out of the country, so I.
Hold on.
That got all deleted then.
When,
So
all right, now
somebody-
wait a second. Was it emailed by you or was it emailed by?
Patty,
Okay, then we can go back to Patty and ask for the
So
email.
it's a 118 email from Patty.
Okay, email,
Email
okay.
from Patty.
they were emailed already from Patty in January.
Yeah.
I'll
Alright.
ask her to
Because-
resend it on
Yeah, because
Monday
we-
when she's back.
Good
That's
idea.
great.
That's probably a
Thanks
good
a lot.
idea.
It's not the actual document.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it
but-
was 3 emails because they're, a bunch of files.
They were three different,
Yeah,
right, there were so
each
many
email
online. So
had
it's
like
three
a
But
half
I
dozen.
just buzz through stuff. If I don't have to read it right then, I'm.
That's how I read it.
Okay, she'll get it, she'll do
I
it to
never
us on
got it.
Monday.
Yeah,
That's great.
emails.
Right, yeah,
I thought
sometimes
it
it's
was,
not.
Okay, now that I already, no,
Time ends up
I already
being-
updated
January
once.
We all.
I spend more time
Yeah.
unsubscribing for stuff. I don't know how the heck it finds
Oh,
it.
that's when I come back, that's okay.
And the political
And then we'll
things.
sit down together and go through this stuff. I think that's good.
Okay, David, how are we doing?
Oh, that's what I.
Sorry about that.
Is Patty gonna resend it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
she's
ask
gonna
her on
resend
Monday when
everything.
she gets back.
Okay, now can we adjourn?
And then the only other thing, just a
Wait.
quick
I have one
update
thing,
on
too.
open space, so the SHOES project mentioned earlier that, it's in Washington DC for the review, for the request for the USDA NRCS funds, which was a $250,000 request.
Wow.
But we already received the LCHIP funds awarded and the Moose Plate funds
Oh, wow.
awarded.
Oh, wow.
We're looking at potentially $100,000 to come from our conservation fund by the time we get to closing, assuming that the federal USDA funds come in. USDA funds don't come in, then we got a problem,
That's great.
but they will. But we probably won't see a closing until 2025.
Okay, Billy?
I have one quick thing. I figured I'd tell you first. I have to move in June, so I'll be back in several years, but
You're
I'd give you a
moving
heads
in
up.
June.
Oh, no.
Where you go, where
Where
are
you
you going
going?
this time?
California.
Oh,
Not
Whoa, coast to
disappointed,
coast.
but yeah.
oh,
back to
my
California.
goodness.
So,
But you're keeping your house.
absolutely.
Because you're
Okay.
coming back.
Oh, yeah. That's the plan. So,
Well, you'll be here for a couple months.
just
Okay.
figured I'd let y'all know.
Okay,
We'll keep your seat warm.
so,
Makes you go to California.
are we all set, David, for a motion to adjourn?
All
Sorry
set.
about that.
That's why they said
If
you-
someone want to make a motion to adjourn? Susan?
Yeah.
Seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, they can turn the TV off.